Hey family, this is day 18 of our Reading Through the Bible Together in a Year series. Today we're covering Exodus chapter 6 through chapter 9 verse 12. We're not finishing chapter 9. Where we were yesterday is that Moshe has been called by God at the burning bush and goes back to Egypt and has given signs to Pharaoh and to the people, and Pharaoh has not responded very well. But here's the big guns today, so let's get into it. And the Lord said to Moshe, "Now you will see what I am about to do to Pharaoh, for by a strong hand he will be forced to let them go, driving them out of his land because of my outstretched arm." And God said to Moshe, "I am Yahweh. I let myself be seen by Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov as God, the ruler of all. But they had no knowledge of my name Yahweh. And I made an agreement with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their wanderings. And truly my ears are open to the cry of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep under their yoke, and I have kept in mind my agreement. Say then to the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I will take you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians, and make you safe from their power, and will make you free by the strength of my arm after great punishments. And I will take you to be my people, and I will be your God, and you will be certain that I am the Lord your God, who takes you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. And I will be your guide into the land which I made an oath to give to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov, and I will give it to you for your heritage. I am Yahweh." And Moshe said these words to the children of Israel, but they gave no attention to him because of the grief of their spirit and the cruel weight of their work. And the Lord said to Moshe, "Go in and say to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that he is to let the children of Israel go out of his land." And Moshe, answering the Lord, said, "See, the children of Israel will not give ear to me. How then will Pharaoh give ear to me, whose lips are unclean?" And the word of the Lord came to Moshe and Aaron with orders for the children of Israel and for Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to take the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. These are the heads of their fathers' families, the sons of Reuven, the oldest son of Israel, Hanoch and Palu, Hetzron and Carmi. These are the families of Reuven. And the sons of Shimon, Yemuel, and Yamin, and Ohad, and Yachin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a woman of Canaan. These are the families of Shimon. And these are the names of the sons of Levi in the order of their generations: Gershon, and Kohath, and Merari. And the years of Levi's life were 137. The sons of Gershon, Livni, and Shimei, in the order of their families. And the sons of Kohath, Amram, and Itzhar, and Hebron, and Uzziel. And the years of Kohath's life were 133. And the sons of Merari, Machi, and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites, in the order of their generations. And Amram took Jochebed, his father's sister, as wife, and she gave birth to Aaron and Moshe. And the years of Amram's life were 137. And the sons of Itzhar, Korah, and Nepheg, and Zichri, and the sons of Uzziel, Mishael, and Elzaphan, and Sitri. And Aaron took as his wife Elisheva, the daughter of Aminadab, the sister of Nachshon, and she gave birth to Nadav and Avihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. And the sons of Korah, Asir, and Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These are the families of the Korahites. And Eleazar, Aaron's son, took as his wife one of the daughters of Putiel, and she gave birth to Pinhas. These are the heads of the families of the Levites in the order of their families. These are the same Aaron and Moshe, to whom the Lord said, "Take the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt in their armies." These are the men who gave orders to Pharaoh to let the children of Israel go out of Egypt. These are the same Moshe and Aaron. And on the day when the word of the Lord came to Moshe in the land of Egypt, the Lord said to Moshe, "I am the Lord. Say to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, everything I am saying to you." And Moshe said to the Lord, "My lips are unclean. How is it possible that Pharaoh will give me a hearing?" And the Lord said to Moshe, "See, I have made you a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother will be your prophet. Say whatever I give you orders to say. And Aaron your brother will give word to Pharaoh to let the children of Israel go out of his land. And I will make Pharaoh's heart hard, and my signs and wonders will be increased in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh will not give ear to you, and I will put my hand on Egypt, and take my armies, my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt after great punishments. And the Egyptians will see that I am the Lord, when my hand is stretched out over Egypt, and I take the children of Israel out from among them. And Moshe and Aaron did so. As the Lord gave them orders, so they did. And Moshe was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they gave the Lord's word to Pharaoh. And the Lord said to Moshe and Aaron, If Pharaoh says to you, Let me see a wonder, then say to Aaron, Take your rod and put it down on the earth before Pharaoh, so that it may become a snake. Then Moshe and Aaron went in to Pharaoh, and they did as the Lord had said. And Aaron put his rod down on the earth before Pharaoh and his servants, and it became a snake. Then Pharaoh sent for the wise men and the wonder workers, and they, their wonder workers of Egypt, did the same with their secret arts. For every one of them put his rod down on the earth, and they became snakes. But Aaron's rod made a meal of their rods. But Pharaoh's heart was made hard, and he did not give ear to them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said to Moshe and Aaron, Pharaoh's heart is unchanged, he will not let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning, when he goes out to the water. You will be waiting for him by the edge of the Nile, with the rod which was turned into a snake in your hand. And say to him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Let my people go, so that they may give me worship in the wasteland. But up to now you have not given ear to his words. So the Lord says, By this you may be certain that I am the Lord. See, by the touch of this rod in my hand, the waters of the Nile will be turned to blood, and the fish in the Nile will come to destruction, and the river will send up a bad smell, and the Egyptians will not be able for disgust to make use of the water of the Nile for drinking. And the Lord said, Say to Aaron, Let the rod in your hand be stretched out over the waters of Egypt, and over the rivers and the streams and the pools, and over every stretch of water, so that they may be turned into blood. And there will be blood through all the land of Egypt, in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moshe and Aaron did as the Lord had said, and when his rod had been lifted up and stretched out over the waters of the Nile before the eyes of Pharaoh and his servants, all the water in the Nile was turned to blood, and the fish in the Nile came to destruction, and a bad smell went up from the river, and the Egyptians were not able to make use of the water of the Nile for drinking. And there was blood through all the land of Egypt. And the wonder workers of Egypt did the same with their secret arts, but Pharaoh's heart was made hard, and he would not give ear to them, as the Lord had said. Then Pharaoh went into his house, and did not take even this to heart. And all the Egyptians made holes round about the Nile to get drinking water, for they were not able to make use of the Nile water. And 7 days went past after the Lord had put his hand on the Nile. The Lord said to Moshe, Go to Pharaoh and say to him, The Lord says, Let my people go, so that they may give me worship. And if you will not let them go, see, I will send frogs into every part of your land. The Nile will be full of frogs, and they will come up into your house, and into your bedrooms, and on your bed, and into the houses of your servants, and your people, and into your ovens, and into your bread basins. The frogs will come up over you and your people and all your servants. And the Lord said to Moshe, Say to Aaron, Let the rod in your hand be stretched out over the streams and the waterways and the pools, causing frogs to come up on the land of Egypt. And when Aaron put out his hand over the waters of Egypt, the frogs came up, and all the land of Egypt was covered by them. And the wonder workers did the same with their secret arts, making frogs come up over the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh sent for Moshe and Aaron and said, Make prayer to the Lord that he will take away these frogs from me and my people, and I will let the people go and make their offering to the Lord. And Moshe said, I will let you have the honor of saying when I am to make prayer for you and your servants and your people, that the frogs may be sent away from you and your houses, and be only in the Nile. And he said, By tomorrow. And he said, Let it be as you say, so that you may see that there is no other like the Lord our God. And the frogs will be gone from you and from your houses and from your servants and from your people, and will be only in the Nile. Then Moshe and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moshe made prayer to the Lord about the frogs which he had sent on Pharaoh. And the Lord did as Moshe said, and there was an end of all the frogs in the houses and in the open spaces and in the fields. And they put them together in masses, and a bad smell went up from the land. But when Pharaoh saw that there was peace for a time, he made his heart hard, and did not give ear to them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said to Moshe, Say to Aaron, Let your rod be stretched out over the dust of the earth, so that it may become insects through all the land of Egypt. And they did so. And Aaron, stretching out the rod in his hand, gave a touch to the dust of the earth, and insects came on man and on beast. All the dust of the earth was changed into insects through all the land of Egypt. And the wonder workers with their secret arts, attempting to make insects, were unable to do so, and there were insects on man and beast. Then the wonder workers said to Pharaoh, This is the finger of God. But Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he did not give ear to them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said to Moshe, Get up early in the morning and take your place before Pharaoh when he comes out to the water, and say to him, This is what the Lord says, Let my people go to give me worship. For if you do not let my people go, see, I will send clouds of flies on you and on your servants and on your people and into their houses, and the houses of the Egyptians in the land where they are will be full of flies. And at that time I will make a division between your land and the land of Goshen where my people are, and no flies will be there, so that you may see that I am the Lord over all the earth. And I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign will be seen. And the Lord did so, and great clouds of flies came into the house of Pharaoh and into his servants' houses, and all the land of Egypt was made waste because of the flies. And Pharaoh sent for Moshe and Aaron and said, Go and make your offering to your God here in the land. And Moshe said, It is not right to do so, for we make our offerings of that to which the Egyptians give worship, and if we do so before their eyes, certainly we will be stoned. But we will go 3 days' journey into the wasteland and make an offering to the Lord our God, as he may give us orders. Then Pharaoh said, I will let you go to make an offering to the Lord your God in the wasteland, but do not go very far away, and make prayer for me. And Moshe said, When I go out from you, I will make prayer to the Lord, that the cloud of flies may go away from Pharaoh and from his people and from his servants tomorrow. Only let Pharaoh no longer by deceit keep back the people from making their offerings to the Lord. Then Moshe went out from Pharaoh and made prayer to the Lord. And the Lord did as Moshe said, and took away the cloud of flies from Pharaoh and from his servants and from his people. Not one was to be seen. But again Pharaoh made his heart hard and did not let the people go. Then the Lord said to Moshe, Go in to Pharaoh and say to him, This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, so that they may give me worship. For if you will not let them go, but still keep them in your power, then the hand of the Lord will put on your cattle in the field, on the horses and on the donkeys, and on the camels, on the herds and the flocks, a very evil disease. And the Lord will make a division between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. There will be no loss of any of the cattle of Israel. And the time was fixed by the Lord, and he said, Tomorrow the Lord will do this thing in the land. And on the day after, the Lord did as he had said, causing the death of all the cattle of Egypt. But there was no loss of any of the cattle of Israel. And Pharaoh sent and got word that there was no loss of any of the cattle of Israel. But the heart of Pharaoh was hard, and he did not let the people go. And the Lord said to Moshe and to Aaron, Take in your hand a little dust from the fire, and let Moshe send it in a shower up to heaven before the eyes of Pharaoh. And it will become small dust over all the land of Egypt, and will be a skin disease bursting out in wounds on man and beast through all the land of Egypt. So they took some dust from the fire, and placing themselves before Pharaoh, Moshe sent it out in a shower up to heaven, and it became a skin disease bursting out on man and on beast. And the wonder workers were not able to take their places before Moshe because of the disease. For the disease was on the wonder workers and all the Egyptians. And the Lord made Pharaoh's heart hard, and he would not give ear to them, as the Lord had said. So now we're getting into the thick of it. We're into the 10 plagues, the famous 10 plagues. Today we had the first 6. We had blood in the Nile, frogs, the dust turning to gnats, clouds of flies, death of the livestock, and boils. We got 4 more tomorrow, but one thing to remember is that these aren't just like random shows of power. A lot of the times, maybe we talk about them as if just God is showing all the different ways, or maybe even it's attached to certain Egyptian gods. That's definitely possible too. But these plagues can be grouped in certain ways to give theological value. I think one thing that you can recognize is there's 10 plagues, but there's also the 10 commandments, and that might be a connection point, maybe not. But another thing that you can notice is that the first 3 have to do with the land and the sea, the middle 3 have to do with animals and creatures, and the third 3 have to do with the sky and gods. And so there's some decreation imagery there, but it's not just some random acts of violence. So don't take that with you after reading these. It's dark and it's hard to deal with, but a lot of it is about God, Yahweh, decreating Egypt and its culture for the sake of bringing his own out of Egypt, raising these slaves from their bondage into the promised land, that general story. So take that with you a little bit today. Think critically about what these could and possibly might mean. Have a wonderful day.